part two of infidelity. You will reap what you sow, being even the side chick, you know what I'm saying? And there are a lot of side pieces out there as well, but people don't understand who have been called by God, but they have not came into who they supposed to be. And a lot of people like that's but it's not, because that was me as well. People don't understand that people go through things before they develop and become the person who God, because God is allowing you to see what happens, and they have to awaken and see the physical, not only physical things, but the spiritual aspects, because God is calling them to see things and to point things out, because he will use what you're going through, your situation, to bring awareness to you. And yes, there are people out there in the world who are side pieces and side dudes, but do a lot of people come to awareness? No. But the ones who do, because a lot of people will actually die in it. But that does not negate the fact that God did not call them, okay? Same way with wives. There are a lot of people who are messing with men who wives are of God. You get what I'm saying? And there are people who are messing with men, and these men are quote unquote, you know what I'm saying, but they are in sin. You get what I'm saying? Like it's sin and all this kind of stuff. But it would teach you things to look for when you out there doing it, because if you don't recognize the spirits even operating in people, even people that you could be messing with, and that's why I'm saying that have spirits, you bring that back to your wife as well. So even that, God allowed me to see, even as a side person, bringing the taking things back even to the wife, and she's dealing with it, and even being on the opposite end of that, because what happened to me many years ago, before any of this happened, that's what happened to me, and I didn't understand why, and I was able to see how it's able to happen. Now with that being said, is I'm talking about people, and there are people now talking about a woman who's want to take a woman's husband away from. That's a whole nother subject that I can't speak on, because that was never me. I've never wanted what somebody else had in that sense. I didn't want it. I was doing it through pain. I was trying to forget, and I really did not care about these men. I mean, it's the truth, and I didn't care nothing about them. I believe that men didn't even have emotions. I believe that they didn't have feelings, but God showed me a lot of things. So that's why at 29, when that light bulb came out, I started operating different, changing and everything, which is in my first video, changing and everything, because God was showing me what I was doing was wrong. You see what I'm saying? Not only them, but what I was doing was wrong as well. I couldn't operate that way and go through life and be like, I don't care, because of all the things that happen to me in life, and do the same thing that happened to me and put it off on other people. And yes, I did pay the price for that. Now with that being said, that's how I know people will pay as well, because I couldn't walk through life and doing things just to people or whatever, and there was no consequences. That's not the truth. But I'm going to speak about now, being on the side of the wife, is when the woman or husband, because it could be both, when they are with someone who is operating also outside the will of God, and out there in the streets, and you have that covenant with them, or rather they the person of God you with or not, and that's what people mistake. And let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell anybody and everybody this. I don't care what you say. A man marries a woman for whatever reason. He married her because he wants to. I don't care what nobody says. He marries her because he wants to. It don't have to be about love. It don't. And I hate to break little side chick's heart. He married that woman for a reason. So you need to take it for what it is and let it go. I'm tired of people like trying to always be like, oh, this, that, and she. You don't know what the heck she doing. You going by what he's telling you. And you're going to bring a whole lot of trouble on you for that. But let me get back to this. Is that, you know what I'm saying? Showing me what the wives deal with, because when this man is outside the will of God and he is sleeping with other women and all this kind of stuff, he bring back, not only, let's just say bring back a STD, but he could bring back spiritual entities, especially if this woman is, her spirit is open. You know what I'm saying? She's like an open door. That's what I used to call myself, because a lot of people are not. But if she is an open door, it is danger to her spiritual life and everything, about, because she's the one who's fighting these demonic entities. That man isn't. Now it may manifest in ways like problems at jobs, problems all around him or whatever, but spiritually speaking, that woman, because she is an open door, literally, for the spirit realm, she is literally fighting for her life. Because, and not to mention, there are people who are operating in other things as well, who bring things to the marriage because, let's just say, they want that man. They hate that wife. So they're going to do everything they can to destroy that marriage. And if you are with a man who is unwilling to listen to you about people and how they operate and how to behave, there is nothing you can do. There's no prayer. And I hear a lot of religious people will be like, pray for your, yes, you do. But God is not going to force someone to bend to his will. There are a lot of people out here. You could pray for your husband all you want, but if he is not willing to receive what the Lord is saying, there is nothing you can do. He's going to operate outside the will of God in that marriage. That's what he's going to do. And I'm not with people and be like, you stay with the husband. No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe that, because for one, if that man is committed to mistreating you, mishandling you, cheating on you, lying on you, stealing, because and people think about physical things, a lot of this is spiritual. And all this, he's taken away from you. He's taken away from your livelihood, your mental, physical, and spiritual, to where you cannot operate fully as a person. And I'm going to tell you, even as wives, I never believe the other woman. I don't fight women over men. I've told anybody this. I told my last husband the same thing. If I didn't fight over my last one, I'm not going to fight over you either. I don't cry over spoiled milk. So that's why even in my marriage to the second man, it was much, much easier to deal with than the first one, because I was with that man since I was 13. My second husband, I wasn't. I knew him from before, but I didn't know him like I thought I did, because he had changed so drastically. Now, with that being said, is that I knew what to expect from people like that, because I knew how they operated. Not only that, I watched him and how he operated, the people how he was with, and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of times you're placed in places in order for you to see. And that's what people don't understand as well, is that a lot of times you be far off from the darkness, but even by your own decisions that you make, God will allow you to make those decisions, but also he want you to see how they operate and how they reel you in and how you pull in and how you're able to get food and all this stuff. And if you pay attention, you will see exactly how they operate, because when close, they don't hide it, especially when they're around other people like them. It's literally for the world to see, but if you don't see it, you can miss it just like that. But you have to pay attention, because they will surround people just like them, just as wicked, just as vile and foul as them. But you have to pay attention. It doesn't matter how much they smile and how nice they come off. They will surround themselves with yes people who will never tell them when they're wrong, never point out the fact of all this. And if by any chance that someone does, they cut that friend off. They cut that person off. Not understanding that's a real one right there. But they don't want that. They want to continue to work in their wickedness. They want to continue to work in what they do. So they will always operate that way, okay? And they will always surround themselves with people like that, okay? And so you have to pay attention, even with the parents. And this is not everybody. Like, people need to understand this, especially when people have these certain spirits. Their parents, friends, family, exes, side pieces be just like them, and they would keep this one person that they can like literally kind of like leech off of, that they think is weak, but when in fact can decimate them all. Not even trying. They don't even have to link up with anybody, but just one thought, just one thing said or whatever can literally decimate them. But by that time, this person has gained the wisdom and knowledge that God has given them, not to destroy them the way how they destroyed you. Because for one, if you wanted to, you could literally burn it to the ground and not think twice about it. But I have learned, when it comes to things like this, especially when you have a calling on your life, and a lot of people are not going to believe, because why? Of your past. I don't care. There are strippers out there as well. All these different people out here who had a bad life, pimps or whatever. God has really redone their life. And they're out there preaching the gospel, they're out there teaching the gospel, and you're going to have people always saying the worst about you. They want to believe, because why? You're not stuck in the past like they are. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, keep moving. It does not matter. And a lot of people want you to believe that they don't see you, but they do. They watch your videos. It ain't about who's liking or nothing like that. It is not about popularity. It's about who gets the message. Because for one, you are trying to tell them something and release something so that they can understand what it's like. You never get away with evil.